Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Field of 68's last call. Do you think that you could take down a black bear?
No, hell no.
I'm going to try.
The first person that's going to die has got to be one of the black guys. So.
Cold cuts, they suck.
Are Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce going to get married?
Hell no. Here we go. It's last call.
Welcome to the Tuesday evening edition of the last call here on Stadium. My name is Rob Doster. I have John Henson. I have Jeff Goodman with me. We are the Field of 68, and this is the show where we will answer your questions for the next 30 minutes. Anything you want to ask us, jump in the chat, fire away. We will answer it as long as it doesn't get us canceled. And if it does, maybe we'll ask it anyways because, you know, it is last call after all. If you got them, drink them. All right, Henson. Here's what we're going to start with. And you know what? Maybe I'll tee up Goodman on this one first because it seems like the kind of question that he would enjoy answering. Who is more likely to be searching for a job this spring? Mike Woodson or Chris Holtmann?
Oh, Chris Holtmann. Chris Holtmann for sure. I didn't think it was going to go like this again, but it's been a disaster. I mean, again, you can't blow an 18-point lead tonight to a shitty Indiana team at home in Columbus. And last year, remember, they free fall. They were like, I can't remember what they were last year. They were like 10-2 or something like that. And then they lost 15-16, I think. And this year, I think they were 12-2. And now they've lost something like 7 of 8. So
they were 12-2, and they've lost 8 of 9 this season. And last year, they started out the season 10-3, and then they lost 14 out of 15.
Yeah. So whatever the case, it's a complete free fall again. And, the interesting thing here is their AD, Gene Smith, is retiring soon. So the question is, will he save Holtmann and give him one more year, or will it be his last act before he steps down and make a move on Chris Holtmann? Holtmann's still got some money left, so it's going to cost Ohio State. And obviously Ohio State's all about football. And obviously Ryan Day hasn't exactly crushed it either, watching Michigan win the whole thing. So it's going to be interesting, but I would say Mike Woodson most likely.
Jeff,
Yes.
don't you ever put Holtmann's name in the same sentence as Ryan Day. Are you kidding me? If Michigan doesn't exist, Ohio State is in the champion every year. But
they do. But what's worse? If you are an Ohio State fan, what is worse? Losing 20 straight games in basketball or watching Michigan win the national title in football? Go ahead, answer that question. It's not
watching Michigan win, but it's at least they're in the discussion.
I got you. No, I get it. And again, I think a move will probably be made on Holtmann. I think with Woodson, it's a year away because Quinn Buckner is his guy. He's the one who made the call on Woodson. He's the one who wields power as part of the board at Indiana, former player. I think Woodson's got enough support. And he went to the tournament the last 2 years where Holtmann didn't go last year, isn't going to go again. And it's just the way the season has gone.
Yeah, I don't think that you can make a move on Woodson yet. And I don't think it's right to make a move on Woodson yet, a former player that is sitting in a position where they are currently, let me bring it up, they are 14-9 after tonight's win. They're 6-6 in the Big Ten. And they still got some work to do, but I don't think that it is out of the question that they can find a way to get a tournament bid. They are at Purdue on Saturday.
They're not getting in the tournament. They're not getting in the tournament. They're going to the NIT. Maybe they can get to the NIT, but they're not going to the NCAA tournament unless they win the Big Ten tournament. They have no chance. None. Zero. Have you watched them? They have no chance.
I actually have not watched them probably in a month, and it's been great for my mental health.
Good for you.
I would very strongly suggest that you do that too, because it would be good for everybody's mental health.
I can't.
If we stop, you're an addict. That's the problem. You're an addict. Next, all right. So the next question we got: What teams currently on the 2 or 3 line have the best chance for a 1 seed? This is from Jacob P. Right now, our 1 seeds are kind of the consensus. I think this is what everybody has is Purdue, UConn, Houston, and North Carolina. That was before North Carolina's loss tonight, and I don't necessarily expect that to change at least this week before Friday's fielding the 68 that will put out a new projection. Our 2 seeds right now, Marquette, Kansas, Tennessee, and Arizona, as well as Baylor, Wisconsin, Alabama, and Dayton on the 3 seed line. Henson, can any of those teams find a way to be able to get up to the 1 seed line?
If Marquette takes control of the Big East, maybe, but I think everyone's kind of where they're supposed to be at right now. Even UNC losing tonight, I don't think. I think down the stretch they're going to rattle off some wins. They're going to be fine. They're going to win the ACC, so they'll stay. But if I had to pick a team, maybe Marquette or Tennessee. But Tennessee's got work to do as well. And we keep talking like when teams are going to start playing better or they got work to do. Like, I mean, it's 10 games left, give or take. So even if Tennessee or maybe Arizona rattles off 8 or 9 in a row, does that put them firmly on the 1 line? I doubt it. But if I had to choose Tennessee, maybe Arizona, but maybe not, because Arizona, who are they going to play to make us believe that they're number 1 seed?
Exactly.
If they go through
great call.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's Tennessee. Tennessee is the answer, Henson. You hit it.
Yeah.
Because if Tennessee wins the league, they have so many good resume wins. Not so many, but they got enough good ones in front of them. They'd have to sweep Texas A&M. They got Auburn at home, Alabama on the road, South Carolina. They have a buzzsaw of a schedule at the end of the year, backloaded. But if they win the league, you give it to them over an ACC team that wins the league because, again, the ACC looks like a middle tier league this year compared to the SEC.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I think it's Tennessee, and I think that I honestly think that they'll find a way to make that happen. It just I can't shake that performance in Rupp Arena out of my mind. They just
you love the balls too. You've always loved the balls.
And here's what you got to do, Henson. I don't know if I've told you this. Every time for the last 3 years, the second I've bought in on Tennessee, the second I've said, you know what, I think this team is really good, that's when it completely goes to shit. So
who they
what
play
you have
next?
to do for the next,
they're going to lose to LSU now. They're going to lose to LSU at home.
They're going to lose to LSU. Fade them. Take the LSU money line.
LSU's a plus 350 or more. I'm locking in on it.
Yeah.
Just put your house
every time I buy in on the balls, it completely goes to hell. All right. I'm going to you for this one too, Henson, first. It's from Kyle P. Can Duke still win a national championship this year?
No. I can't see it because usually right now, the last few years, we've talked about Duke surging right now, right? Like not like Duke's coming into their own. They're looking like a team that's could compete for a championship. I feel like they're faltering right now. I think the UNC loss is going to do a lot for their psyche, is a negative for their psyche because it wasn't like Duke was in there and they were like North Carolina wired them, and just kind of beat down on them a little bit, even though they made some good runs towards the end. But yeah, they've got work to do just to get to a good seeding, so they won't have to. I mean, if you look at the seeding, they could potentially have to play like a 6 seed, which is Kentucky, right? Like the next weekend. So they're in trouble.
There are 4 right now in our bracket, which would put them against South Carolina in the second round. Goodman, do you remember what happened last time Duke played South Carolina in the second round?
Oh yeah, I was there. Frank Martin.
Was that Sedarius Thornwell?
He went to the Final Four.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Here's the thing. Henson's killing Duke.
The end of Jason Tatum's vaulted college basketball career.
Sorry. They've now won 11 of their last 13, and John Henson is crushing them. But why? Because, again, in the ACC, winning 11 of your last 13 just isn't that impressive this year.
See how you set me up
I don't,
Rob?
I did. I don't think that they can win the national title. I still think that they can make a Final Four, though. Maybe I'm just crazy and drinking the John Shire Kool-Aid, but I like the talent. I love the guards, and I think that they are one of those teams that have a high ceiling with what they do offensively. Listen, we We got to step away for a second. On the other side of the break, we got to talk about the Pac-12 Player of the Year, Missouri Valley, 2 bids, and an update on the search for the Robbie Hummel jersey. Welcome back to the Tuesday evening edition of Last Call. My name is Rob Doster. I have John Henson. I have Jeff Goodman. We are the Field of 68, and this is where we are going to answer your questions for the next about 17 and a half minutes or so, gentlemen. So we'll get to it right off the top. It's from Andy. What is the current status of Jeff Goodman trying to acquire a Robbie Hummel jersey? And just for context, for the people that don't know, Goodman and Hummel made a bet on the Purdue-Arizona game, because Hummel's a Purdue alum and Goodman's an Arizona alum, that the loser would have to wear the other person's jersey. I don't know what you were going to get out of that, Goodman, but you have to wear a Robbie Hummel jersey for an entire day at the Final Four. An entire day. I can't wait for you to go to the pump party wearing a Robbie Hummel jersey. It's going to be amazing.
No, the worst part is I can't wear like a t-shirt or anything, an undershirt underneath it. That's the worst part of it. So I've decided this week, I finally decided I'm going to hit the gym. So I've gone, I went 2 days, and now today I didn't have the motivation to go. So
I can't
I'm trying to
wait
look like John Henson and get jacked.
I can't wait to take that outfit, that picture of you wearing the Robbie Hummel jersey with nothing underneath, and send it to Cam Jones for our fashion correspondent.
So wrong. This is so wrong that I agreed to this. He did it after I lost the bet. He added the part that I couldn't wear anything underneath it. So anyway, I've looked everywhere on the internet, eBay, you name it, for an extra large Hummel jersey. And I couldn't find one anywhere. So finally I tweeted something out today. I was like, hey, anybody got a Hummel jersey? So a couple people hit me back, and this guy, Brian Israel, agreed to sell it to me. So his tweet, I don't know if you guys saw it, but his tweet, I'll read it to you. I held out for as much as I could for this Robbie Hummel jersey. Multiple bidders, and I sold to the highest one, hoping the $5 can get me a Big Mac tomorrow. Thanks, Goodman. So Brian Israel, $5 for the Hummel jersey. And honestly, I think I overpaid.
You might overpaid.
Honestly,
I can't believe you got a jersey for $5.
Still.
$5.
Yeah. And you can get him to sign it, and then you can frame it. Here's what we got to do. You got to get him to sign it. Then we'll get it framed. And then whenever he finally decides he doesn't want to do a podcast with you anymore and smartens up, we will retire his jersey on the podcast. I think that's what we have to do. I think that's the way that this is going to go. All right, good. Since you are officially a Pac-12 guy, who is the Pac-12 Player of the Year as of today? It's a hard question to answer.
No, it's really, I mean, honestly, I don't know how hard it is. I think you got to go Caleb Love. I think he's the guy, the best player on the best team. And he is. There's no doubt. And Keyshawn Johnson's fallen off. Like,
Hold
A
on, hold
month
on, hold
ago,
on. We got to write this down. We got to write this down. It is 12:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, February 7th. Henson, you heard it, right? You are my witness. Jeff Goodman just said
Yeah.
something nice about Caleb Love.
Well, he did, but it was backhanded because he says, I mean, what other choice do you have? What other choice do you have? And he's right. All the guys kind of that
Right.
could potentially take him out, or they are on bad teams. So
correct.
he's right.
We don't have another lock NCAA tournament team right now in the Pac-12. Am I right? Like, tell me the second best team that's an absolute lock right now. Now, again, I guess Utah is pretty close. Colorado's pretty close. Like, they're both in the equation, but neither are an absolute lock, are they?
No,
They
can
don't
I
have
tell
a
you who
guy.
I would go with for player of the year, though? I think today I would take KJ Simpson. He's averaging 19
He's
and a
been
half
awesome.
points. He's averaging
Yeah.
5.5 boards. He's averaging 4.5 assists. He is shooting 50% from the floor, 46% from three, and 89.4% from the free throw line. 0.6% from the charity stripe away from being a 50, 40, 90 player while averaging 19, 5, and 4. That is, according to my
But
sources, that is pretty good.
you can't put a bubble team as a guy player of the year.
I mean,
That would defeat the reason why winning matters.
yeah,
Can't
I
do it.
know. Trust me, man. I get it. But like,
Hard to
he's been the best player in
right.
the league. He's been the best player in the
He
league,
has.
but like the league sucks. What do you want from me?
If
Henson,
Colorado
I
makes
just
a
don't
run
know.
and they get up in the top 2 or 3 and they compete with Arizona, he gets it. That's the only way.
Here are their numbers, just so you guys have them here. Their numbers right now are not overly impressive. They're 29 in the net. Other
Who,
than that,
Colorado?
yeah,
They're one of the first four
yeah,
out for us.
right,
They're one of the
right.
first
That's
four
what I'm
out.
saying. Like, they're just. It'd be hard to give it to a guy that, to me, I think in cases like this, I think you have to give it to the best player on the best team.
Yeah. By the way, do you know who the Big 12 or the Pac-12 Coach of the Year is right now? It's not close. Kyle Smith, Washington State.
Yeah,
It's
he's
not
done
even a
a great
conversation.
job. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
he's
Kyle
done a
Smith of
great job.
Washington State for everything that's going on there.
That's another. I guess if we have to give it to someone, Pac-12.
Right.
I mean,
No, he's right. Right.
Yeah.
Henson's right. Like, there's
Yeah.
nobody.
Mhm.
Who you gonna pick? Like, I'm almost
Kyle Smith.
thinking, like, I don't want to give it to anybody.
Kyle Smith. Well, if
Fine.
Colorado had not lost these last two games, like they just lost their last two, and before that they were kind of safely in the NCAA tournament, but they lost at Wazoo, they lost at Utah, and those were two games that they kind of needed to be able to put themselves like a real conversation for lock tournament status.
Hey.
They get Arizona State at home on Thursday, and then Arizona at home on Saturday. Colorado's got to get that win against Arizona. Like if you don't get that win at home against Arizona,
what else
you're
is
not
there?
doing enough. Nothing else. You kind of got to get the auto bid if you don't do that. But
Hey, those Pac-12
yeah.
kids need to start prepping for spring break, man. Panama City's a fun spot.
They can come down to Tampa and hang with you.
Definitely come down to
All
Tampa.
right. No, I'm coming down. As soon as the season's over, Henson, I'm not going to talk to Goodman for at least 3 weeks. I'm coming down. We're doing
Okay.
some deep sea fishing. We're going out into the Gulf off St. Pete Beach. I got a spot right next to the Don Cesar that I always go to. So we're good, man. We're good. We'll figure it
Okay.
out. I got you
And
covered.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
The problem with that, Henson, is you're paying.
That's cool.
No, Field of 68 is paying. That's what we're doing right there. All right.
Fine, look, man.
Goodman. Does the Missouri Valley get two teams in the tournament this year?
Oh boy, I think they will. I actually think they will. I mean, right now Indiana State's in, Drake's probably not, but I think Drake can win the league tournament. I'm going to give him a shot there to win the league tournament. Indiana State gets in as an at-large. Drake beats him in the tournament title game. How's that?
I like that. I agree. Drake, which I thought would be, I mean, they're good. I thought they would be better this year. But yeah, if they win the tournament, they'll get. I'm going to go one. Let's just say I'm going to answer the question. No, one team. I'm not hoping and wishing they win the tournament. So one.
All right.
Yeah, if Indiana State doesn't win, they're going to get an at-large. So there'll be a two bid league. That was a hard thing for me to say.
Scary at large.
did.
There'll be a two-bid league if they get Indiana State in. Listen, we got to take a quick break. On the other side, we got to talk about the hot seat a little bit more. Brad Bunnell and John Calipari? Hot seat? Welcome back to the Tuesday evening edition of Last Call. Rob Doster, Jeff Goodman, John Henson. We are the Field of 68, and we got about 7 minutes here to be able to answer all of your questions. So we're going to jump right into it. Goodman, this one's for you from David B. Does anyone have more lives than Brad Burnell?
No. I mean, it's amazing, right? Every year, he's on the hot seat, the proverbial hot seat. Last year, we thought it was over, right? I mean, it was kind of a done deal before the season started when a young AD, Graham Neff, basically told them, listen, I love you, but you got to go to the tournament or we're going to move on. And they end up just missing the tournament. And they kind of free falled at the end of the year a little bit. But Graham told me that, listen, they were putting people in the seats. He felt like Brad had a good team coming back. And obviously, Brad, he has a relationship with Brad that, it feels like Brad's high character, does it the right way, really good coach. So he stuck by him this year when a lot of ADs would have made a move last year. And hopefully it'll make him look good. I mean, certainly a month ago, it looked like he was in great shape. Now, I know you said they're like firmly in. I think tonight put them in pretty good shape. Before tonight, they were not firmly in my opinion.
They were an 8 seed in our bracket projection, but you're right. It's the kind of thing where it could have turned on them pretty badly. Now I think that, look, you got road wins against 2 top 10 teams. That is what it is. I want to ask you guys this. The question is from Christian H, and it is John Calipari really on the hot seat? And this is going to be the hypothetical that I'm going to give you. Okay. After all of the hype around Kentucky early on this season, after the start that they had to the year, right? If they end up somewhere in that like 6-7 seed line, and if that leads to maybe a first round exit, probably a first weekend exit, right? Do you think that you're saying there's no way that ends up being something where the fans start pushing for a change, where Kentucky is like, look, this is just not working. We're not getting tournament
runs. Can I explain this easily? Can I explain this so easily? This is the easiest thing ever. The regular season did not matter for the Kentucky Wildcats. It does not matter. Does not matter. All that matters, yes, if he loses in the first round. Now, again, I actually think losing right now helps him in a way because if they're a 2 seed and they lose to a 15, he's done. Everybody would want him. Now, again, he's owed $33 million. So done still means finding that money to be able to pay to buy him out of $33 million, which is not going to be the easiest thing. But ultimately, it comes down to one game, one weekend. Whatever happens this week, next week is fairly irrelevant.
If it comes down to one game, I think that means that you're your seat is heating up, and it's not a ridiculous question to ask. It shouldn't have you.
It
When I
does.
asked the
It
question,
does.
was that hey? Was that a good impression of Goodman there, Henson? What do you think?
Yes, a little. I mean, I think it's tough because you owe him all that money, and he's synonymous with the brand. And once that happens, it's just hard to get rid of
Mhm.
anybody. I mean, where do you go from here? Kentucky has to worry about the. I mean, even with the Brownell thing, going back to that, like Clemson gets the wrong guy, then they're gonna be wishing he was there, barely get him to the tournament. So
Yes.
it's a with Kentucky, he's so integrated with that brand, and I mean just the NBA guys and things like that. It would do more harm than good by them letting him go when he doesn't
Who are you
necessarily want to
hiring,
go.
Rob? Who are you hiring? Again, Billy Donovan ain't walking through that door. So, like, who are you hiring? Mitch Barnhart's on his way out as an AD soon. Uh, like, I just don't think, again, if they lose in the first round, then I could see them. There'll be a lot of blowback from the fans, Big Blue Nation, to get rid of them. But I just don't know if they do it because they've had a pretty good year.
Well, here's why. The question that you just asked: who are you hiring? Like, who would you hire? There's no getting rid of somebody when you don't have a very clear succession plan is a bad idea in my mind.
Probably Scott Drew. I'd probably go after Scott Drew for that job, and I'm not sure he's right for it because I think he could get eaten up by Lexington if things don't go well. But he'd also be a guy that would be out in the community. He's positive. It would affect him, but I'm not sure we'd see it affect him when things
Go
went
get
bad.
Rick
If they
Pitino.
go
Go get Rick Pitino. Go get Rick. Go get Rick.
bad.
Mhm.
Go get Rick Pitino. Just go get Rick and just beat down Louisville every year. And just, I mean, let's have some theater.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Last question that we have: if we had to create a field of 68 starting five, who would it be? Henson, you go first.
I'm gonna go me, T Hands. Gotta put Jarrell at the one. Don't necessarily know. We'll go To, and we'll go Childress. We'll go RC.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty.
where you're
Who
making the
we
mistake.
forget?
We would tear some record
That's
leagues
where
up.
you're
I'll
making
tell
the
you that.
mistake. RC's old as hell, man. RC's
It's
old.
all
Who
good.
you
RC
He
going
just
doesn't
with?
got to
look
shoot it. We
old.
don't need him to do nothing else. We need to win.
RC's 65.
Who are you going with?
Listen, RC just got to shoot it. Just got to shoot it. We don't need to put on there.
Anyone but Randolph. He's getting a little
Wow.
old. The knees aren't working too well. If I had to be honest, I think the guy that I would put in the two guard spot would be the best shooter at the field of 68, Rob Doster.